Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take a random character and random weapon, try to beat Danger 5 with it. Hope you're all doing well. So today, we are almost through having done random weapon runs for all of the new 1.1 beta update characters. So this won't be a random run per se, we're going to be picking our character, because the only one we haven't done a random weapons run for yet is the Vampire. Vampire's going to be a really interesting one for a random weapons run. I think this is a weak character overall, and requires some pretty specific strategies to win with consistently, which obviously is going to be tough to manage when we don't get to choose our weapon. This has received some changes since the last time I played this character on the channel, so the Vampire now gets less % damage as you lose health, but your max HP modifications are only reduced by 25% instead of 50%, and you have minus 60% starting damage. That means our starting damage is very poor, and we're going to need to play at quite low health in order to make up for this penalty. So the Vampire, I think, is going to have some difficult playstyle challenges depending on what weapons we get. Let's go ahead and roll our random weapon and see what the game gives us. Alright, we've got Stick for the Vampire. This is obviously a very strong weapon, so good roll for us here. And the Stick is going to give us some maximum HP and decent base damage, which should help us get our economy off to an early start by giving you the ability to just pick up harvesting and stuff like that without losing too much damage. That's the real advantage of strong early weapons like Spear, Stick, or Jousting Lance, is that they let you invest heavily into harvesting early without losing other damage types. So we're going to roll here for harvesting. We would also probably take luck or % damage, or we won't take melee damage because you don't usually need to build melee damage when you've got the Stick, since it builds high base damage itself. We're just going to take the 5% damage here, I think. Actually, I'm going to roll one more time to see if we can find harvesting. I missed, so I'll take attack speed. 5% damage would be fine. You do want to build % damage on the Vampire to get back to damage parity early without having to be at low health, so it's important to find that. But attack speed is fine as well. And then let's go ahead and roll here for more sticks. Obviously, when you're playing with this weapon, you want as many as you can find early. Weird Food, normally a very high pick, but not for the Vampire, who can't use consumable healing. Keep rolling here. Don't really want Alien Worm either. Let's roll and buy a stick, and roll one more time, and we can lock another stick. Lumberjack Shirt, I'm not going to lock. I would probably buy it, but we will have high enough damage that we shouldn't be spending multiple attacks on trees anyways, so I'd rather leave that slot open for something that will really improve our economy. As you can see here, I'm tanking a couple hits just to make sure that our damage with the sticks is high enough that we kill enemies. Of course, the Vampire can only heal through lifesteal, which is a challenge for this character, because we're a melee character with a relatively slow attacking weapon, so only being able to heal through lifesteal means that we can get in a situation where our health is dropping quite low and we don't have a good way to recover it. So we're going to have to look for alternate methods of healing. Take 5 harvesting here, and then we'll buy another stick, and roll, missed, and roll, another stick, perfect, and we get to lock another one, and we also get to lock a bag. So 2 of the top tier economy items in Gentle Alien and Bag, and we've found 5 weapons with a 6th locked. So I would say in the first 2 shops, we've done very well. And you can see even when we're at full health, because of Stick's extremely high base damage as a weapon, we're still one-shotting enemies. With some weapons, we wouldn't be on the Vampire, because minus 60% damage leaves your weapon damage quite low, obviously, when you're at full health. I'm happy to just tank damage there to accelerate our farm, that's all fine. I'll take 10 luck here, it's a level 2 upgrade, and early luck is good. It's less powerful for the Vampire than other characters, since you only get 1 healing from consumables. With minus 100 healing, they do heal for a minimum of 1, so when you pick up a consumable, you still get 1 HP. It makes luck less powerful, but still very powerful as a stat. Take the harvesting there, and we'll grab the stick. And in fact, can I afford this entire shop? It looks like we're just short, so I'm gonna buy the Gentle Alien over the Peaceful Bee, I think. 5% more enemies or 4 harvesting, which is going to be more valuable. Since the harvesting isn't going to get us to 21 any faster, then I'm going to take the Gentle Alien. I think that'll be worth more this wave. Take the stick here and lock another one. We can also lock Injection. I do want to buy percent damage, like I talked about, and Injection costing us 1.5 HP is definitely a real penalty, but since we have the primitive weapon tag offsetting those penalties, we can afford to buy items that reduce our HP. The vampire, like the hunter or the ranger, really wants to prioritize buying health because it's harder to do, and you still need to have high max health. But we also really want to prioritize buying percent damage to make sure we don't fall too far behind. So, very important to keep both of those axes of the character rolling. Kill that tree, and then we can get this group of enemies before the end of the wave. And we picked up 8 harvesting, which is perfect. I'm going to pick that up. Obviously, the HP or melee damage would be fine here, but 8 harvesting is really good. Fried rice doesn't do anything for us. With minus 100 regeneration, we're never going to reach positive regeneration. Let's go ahead and combine. With stick, the real priority with stick is to get them all to level 2. You don't really need to level them past level 2, but getting them to level 2 is really important because it doubles the base damage of the stick. We'll take the Peaceful Bee here and the Injection, and then roll again. Beanie, very good as well. Hedgehog, I don't think is worth locking, because 2 melee damage is fine, but not a tremendous priority for us. So I'm going to roll here and try to lock another stick, because that's what we want more than anything else. Decomposing Flesh, despite being the vampire's unique item, I think is actually terrible on the vampire specifically. Lifesteal isn't something that we need a ton of. We will buy some when we see it, but max HP is very valuable for us, so we're going to avoid the Decomposing Flesh. I think this is actually a very strong item for other characters, but for the vampire is not. And I would like to see that item maybe reworked in some way that makes it better for the vampire, because it is kind of a shame that I think you don't want to buy this character's unlockable item on this character. Most of the time, a pretty good heuristic in Brotato is that the item a character unlocks is good for them, and I think that that's good design. But with the vampire, that rule of thumb is broken. A little more attack speed would be nice, but overall, I mean, we're making more than 200 on wave 5, so we're in great shape in terms of income, and our damage is good. Stick, just such an excellent weapon. Take the max HP there, and we'll take 10% attack speed, because just like I talked about, we want attack speed. I could buy luck here, 5 luck, or I could roll for something better. I think I'm going to roll, because I would really like... I was going to say attack speed, armor, or harvesting, and we got our choice of attack speed, armor, or harvesting, so now I need to make a tough decision. I think for this character on wave 5, I'm going to take the harvesting. I think we can afford to greed just a little bit longer, and then we'll start taking armor next time we see it. Now our economy is fully set up, I would say, so we don't need to prioritize economy items that heavily, and can... focus on buying damage, but I wanted to get to that point. Baby Gecko, not amazing for us. All of our damage is close ranged, but I think worth picking up anyways. Range is pretty good on stick, just because it's a very short-ranged weapon, and with a lifesteal-based healing setup, which the vampire, of course, is, you want higher range on your weapons so that you can lifesteal more safely without having to get too close to enemies. I will also take Weird Ghost. Obviously, if we take a hit right off the start and die, I'll feel dumb, but Weird Ghost is a very efficient way to buy HP, and increases our damage. Since we get lifesteal for having low health, we're going to have 30%, 33 or 32% lifesteal when we're at 1 health. So we'll be able to lifesteal back pretty quickly. We'll buy the gecko and the butterfly as well. Roll here. And I'll take Bat. I do, like I said, want to buy some lifesteal, just to make sure that we have healing, even when we're at relatively high HP totals. So, instantly lifestealing back to a relatively safe point. We can now take a hit. Remember, we also have very high armor at low HP, so while another character would still be in danger when you're at 9 HP, the vampire isn't, because your armor's quite high. And in fact, now at this point, I want to maybe deliberately tank a hit just to make sure that we don't lower our damage too much to be able to one-shot all the enemies on the field. More armor would be good, dodge would be good, attack speed, of course, would be excellent, but overall, this is just going very well. I'm going to take the 5% crit chance here. One way that the vampire can buy consistent healing is with Tentacle, so increasing our crit chance is very good. And like I talked about, I want to boost my defenses, so we'll take the armor here. Percent damage, I would take 2nd, and then luck 3rd, because our economy is doing very well. I just want to make sure that we don't die to something foolish by just not having enough defenses. So roll here, and I will keep upgrading the sticks. Currently, our melee damage is quite low, so upgrading sticks will help us increase that without having to actually find melee damage. I want all of these items, and I can afford to buy all of them, so let's just go ahead and do that with stick, bait, and bat. Does cost me 2 harvesting, or 4 harvesting, because I've got 2 bats, but 6% lifesteal puts us at the point where it's pretty hard for us to not have any healing available. Tank a couple hits. Bait is very good on Vampire, because it lets you get your HP low off the start very consistently. And then, of course, our damage is really high on this character, so we're going to try to let the eggs hatch as much as we can, since we get more money that way. Generally, I think that Stick, after the rework, Stick might even be easier than the Spiky Shield method for Vampire. Stick is just such a high-powered weapon that I think this is one of the easiest ways to win with this character. And basically any character. Stick, probably the single best weapon in the game. It's either Stick or Submachine Gun, but I think the edge goes to Stick, because the max HP that it gives you just makes even the most difficult characters much safer to play. Here I'm going to take the attack speed. Luck or harvesting would also be fine, but more attack speed is going to make it much easier for us to kill things consistently. By the blindfold, and I will take gambling token. We do want to build dodge eventually on this character, so we're happy to pick that up. Take the coffee, and then roll one more time. Another beanie, and things are looking very smooth. Definitely want to do some runs with Vampire with some harder weapons, but, you know, random weapon runs. Sometimes you get good weapons. That's the beauty of randomness. It would be a shame to not take the good with the bad. There's a siren going off outside my house, so hopefully that's not too loud and annoying. The ranged enemies, of course, we want to focus down. They have a higher chance of dropping crates. We have a bag and everything, so we're very happy to try to pick those off. With only 10 luck, we're not that likely to get crates, but crates, of course, are really good to drop. We'll pick up the cute monkey here. This is another one of the ways in which Vampire can get consistent healing, so it's awesome. And we'll take 12% dodge. We're now actually halfway to dodge cap already, which is pretty cool. This character sometimes struggles to reach high dodge levels because there's a lot of stats that you want to buy on the vampire. So the fact that we found that 12% and are at 30% dodge already just makes us even more safe as we continue to play the game here. Blood donation. This is one of the ways we could lose on the vampire. You don't have consistent healing because you're a melee character with this setup, because we're a melee character whose healing is based on lifesteal, and our defensive stats are based around our increasing armor. As we take damage, we gain additional armor. But armor doesn't reduce the damage that blood donation does to you. So while normally I would be very happy to just get greedy and take blood donation, I think that that's one of the ways that you can throw easy runs on the vampire, is by taking the items that deal damage to you every second. So we're going to pass on that. I am, in fact, though, going to take Medical Turret. This gives us consistent healing that doesn't require us to be near enemies, so it's really good for us. And Focus is, of course, excellent. We want percent damage. We're at minus 42%, so 30% damage is a huge buff to our damage output. And we only have one kind of weapon, so the penalty is minimized. Did I just... I was very curious there. It looks like I dodged the shot from the medical turret. I think we just hit an enemy at the same time. But because I don't think that's possible, unless something weird changed in the update. But it really looked there like we got a percent dodge on the medical turret shot. I'm quite certain that's not what happened, but it would be very funny if that was possible for some reason now. I do need to boost my armor. With our only 30 HP, we can still die if I take a bunch of hits in a row, so I do need to be kind of careful about that. Ways to lower my HP that we can control would be nice. Obviously, we don't want things like the blood donation that we can't really control, but things like, if you can take Sad Tomato on this character, I think it's usually good to just start at half HP, even though the regeneration isn't good. Fingers or forearms. Do we want the 4 melee damage? Our melee damage is low. Obviously, that's offset by the fact that we are playing with sticks, which just get lots of base damage regardless. I think I'm going to take the crit chance just because it's a level 3 upgrade, and then we'll take 12% damage. This way, our base damage is still pretty reasonable on these weapons. Obviously, at this point in the game, we do want to start building towards some melee damage, but I think just getting the high-level upgrade is better. Stick was nerfed in the update to only do 1.5x crit damage, so it's less efficient with critical hit damage anyways. Less efficient with critical hit damage than it used to be, but the high base damage on this weapon and just the overall excellent stats still make buying crit chance worth it, I think, and this will also potentially let us get the crit synergy items online later on, so I'm still happy to buy crit chance. Take the focus there, and now we are at 0% damage, which is great. Duct tape for the bonus armor, I think we will still take. I really do want to boost my armor, and I will spend 100 on 5% speed. With our low speed, I'm happy to take Clockwork Wasp. It does also help our medical turret, which isn't a huge consideration, but not totally irrelevant either. And I'll level up our weapons here and buy the ritual, and then lock the cute monkey. Looking for max HP at this point. I'd like to get to around 50 if we can. If we can hit 40 before we fight the elite next wave, and then 50 before the elite after that, and somewhere around 60 or 70, then we'll be in great shape. Basically just want a buffer where we aren't taken down to tiny percentages of our health by single attacks from an elite. And although we gain armor for being at low health, we don't have high armor at base currently, so when we're at full health, the amount of damage we take is not reduced significantly. and we're going to take a chunk of like 20-25 damage if we get hit by an elite, which obviously can put us in a position where we're really suffering from having low health. So yeah, we'll take the jelly here, and I'll take 6 melee damage. That'll help us kill the elites faster. Dodge, armor, both of these would be good. I could roll for max HP. I'm just going to take 3 armor here. I want to have high enough armor that one attack from the elite doesn't put us in a ton of danger, so I'm going to just pick that up. Obviously, the dodge would be awesome as well. We're at high dodge already, and each point of dodge makes each subsequent point of dodge better. But each point of armor also makes each point of dodge better, so I think just making sure that we don't die in a single hit if one goes through our dodge is more important at this stage. Take the cute monkey, and again I will buy duct tape. And I'm going to roll here. Fairy, we can't really use. Let's roll again. This is a pretty early crown, and we already have 40 harvesting, so I'm going to get greedy. Cyberball, I don't think we really need. Our damage is high enough without items like that. And let's just go ahead and upgrade to a level 4 stick here. That could help us DPS down the boss a little bit faster. Definitely want to kill the elite here. We're a stick build. And I'm trying to tank hits from things that aren't the elite, because it's a little easier to control my health when I take a hit from something else, rather than if I take a hit from the elite. So I'm walking into these rib cages to take like 13 to 15 damage, rather than the elite, which does 25 to us or so when I'm at full health, and then I have to play far away from it and can put myself in a bad position, or a position where we have to take a lot longer to kill it. So basically the way to fight that was to try to control my health, keep myself at around 50% for the damage boosts, but not go too low by taking a big chunk of damage from the elite. On the vampire, just very important to think about how your health pool is actually going to interact with the game state. Definitely don't need the ricochet, although it is kind of funny with the medical turret. And then here, I think I'm going to roll. We have 12% speed, which is fine. I could take more, but I think there are stats we need more, and attack speed is one of them. Let's go ahead and upgrade our sticks more, and we'll take the injection and the shady potion. Roll again. Cyberball starting to be a decent amount of damage, but I still don't think we need it. With stick, our weapon damage is just so high that we don't really need to buy non-weapon sources of damage. And then metal is going to be excellent. This is a ton of the stats that we need, so very happy to see that. I could take improved tools, maybe even a turret. I think I will take the improved tools if it works with our medical turret, and I do just want attack speed. But I'm not going to buy the turret for 42. It just won't help that much with wave clear. Improved tools is an inefficient way to buy attack speed, but this character really wants it, because attack speed is how we heal. With our lifesteal-based healing setup, we need to attack as quickly as possible to be able to heal back to full as fast as we can. And that's very important on melee lifesteal builds especially, which cannot disengage to lifesteal after they take a hit. You have to be near enemies to lifesteal off of them. And again, just trying to maintain my HP at around 50% to give us a buffer where we don't die in 1 or 2 hits, but also where our damage is high enough to be one-shotting the enemies and maximizing our wave clear. Put myself in a little bit of danger there at the end by walking into one too many attacks, but we didn't die. I'll just take the max HP here. Like I said, I want to boost that. We'll take the improved tools, and then I will roll. Clockwork Wasp for even more structure attack speed. Could be kind of fun. And I guess I do need some more movement speed. It's a pretty expensive way to buy it, but going up to 20% movement speed I think is good. And I will take the charcoal here as well. Losing 2 harvesting a little painful, but my melee damage is quite low and I do want to increase it. Boxing glove, I don't heavily value the knockback, and 1 melee damage for 50 feels a little bit too pricey, so we're just gonna pass on the boxing glove. Take the stick here, and clover. I don't want alloy. Melee damage is the least efficient type of damage to get from alloy, and 5% crit chance, while reasonable, isn't super important for this character, so we're gonna go ahead and just pass on alloy so we can build our dodge up. As always, with these characters that want to play at low health, I often get the question, why do you buy dodge on them? You want to take damage. But it's not hard to take damage if you just walk into enemies, and dodge acts as a multiplier on your health, and also on your armor and regeneration. This character gets a ton of armor and a ton of free healing, so the dodge makes all of those more efficient, and is just going to give us the ability to move into groups of enemies, then we take the hit, and then we kill them. So it lets us control our positioning better, and also makes it less likely that we die in a couple hits from an enemy if I walk into things when I'm not intending to. Sometimes it's going to make it a little more awkward to lower my HP when I want to deliberately, but the amount of survivability it gives us more than makes up for that minor downside. Recycling this, and we're going to pick up the clover and the charcoal. Roll again, continuing to upgrade sticks. I wouldn't be focusing on upgrading the sticks so much if we had found more melee damage, but since we didn't, I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade them. Take our free reroll here. Wheat is going to be good. Gambling token is great as well. Banner, I think we actually want. This was newly buffed, so it's a little bit easier to buy because it just costs you knockback. And range, although I've decreased it quite a bit with things like the Cyclops Worm, I wouldn't mind getting a little bit more of it. Trying to stick around whenever I kill one of the summoners. We want to stick near where we killed it so we can pop the goobers as soon as they come out. Stop those summons from getting too oppressive. Wave 14 is always one of the most dangerous waves, because the number of summons that show up can really start to stack up. I actually messed up there and killed 2 summoners at once. So now I have to chase down a bunch of the summons before too many projectiles get on the field, especially when we're playing at low HP like this. Whoops. We want to try to control the number of summons on the field, which I'm currently doing a very poor job of. So I think we made a lot less money that wave than I should have, because I had to spend a lot of time chasing down summons before it became too dangerous for us. We probably should have got like 500 income that wave. So even small mistakes like killing 2 summoners at once can end up snowballing out into pretty large consequences when you are playing a game like this that's built around building incremental advantages and then capitalizing on those. Take the armor here over the damage. Again, just want to make sure that we aren't getting popped. And sadly, we don't have the money, and you can see, again, we put ourselves in a bad position by messing up how we played that last wave, and that has consequences for our shop as well. If I had 100 more materials, I'd be able to buy both of these items and get a free reroll, see 4 new items, so it all compounds when you have mistakes in play. Pick up the banner here and leave the gambling token locked. I don't think we need the dodge for the Horde wave, so I'm going to take the attack speed and range to try to maximize our income on this wave. This wave, I'm sort of focusing on reducing the number of summons, but because this is a Horde wave, the Horde aliens will spawn, and that'll despawn the summons anyways. And also, it's less important on wave 15 than on wave 14, because there's more other kinds of enemies, so there's just less potential for infinite summons. And the most important thing this wave is just to make sure that I'm, 1, not dying, to just taking a lot of hits in a row, and 2, constantly clearing the Horde enemies, because we want to maximize our income as much as possible. You can see the attack speed here was very helpful for my lifesteal and also for our income. We made 740. Bloody Hand. So again, this is a powerful item for this character. It was recently nerfed. Taking 1 damage per second is a real penalty for the vampire, because we only have 45 max HP. But Bloody Hand is maybe more interesting to do this with than Blood Donation. I think if you are trying to maximize your chance of winning as much as possible, you should recycle the Bloody Hand here. I think it's too dangerous to pick it up. I'm going to pick it up because I'm wacky like that. And also because, you know, we're playing a vampire, not taking the blood-themed item would feel weird. So I'm going to pick up the Bloody Hand here, but if we lose this run, you can come back to this decision. I will take the glass cannon to make sure that we're killing enemies as quickly as we can. Teeth, the 4% lifesteal would be really nice for the Bloody Hand. It's 8% damage as well, but I'm actually going to take the max HP here. I really need to boost this since I took the damage per second item in order to make sure that we don't die to that. Take the dodge here, and then with the gambling token, we're almost at dodge cap. I actually don't know how Pile of Books interacts with Medical Turret. I assume it doesn't do anything, but it would be cool if the Medical Turret healing can crit. If anyone knows if that works, then let me know in the comments. Upgrade the stick here, and I'll take a lure. Peaceful Bee does cost me a melee damage, but we're so close to dodge cap, that 4% dodge is really valuable. Metal detector, I think will still have time to pay for itself, so I'll pick it up. And leather vest is going to be excellent. Tardigrade, we have Bloody Hand, so it doesn't do anything for us. But I will take power generator to boost my percentage damage. And you can see we've actually recovered our percent damage a lot. And of course, as we take hits, we'll get lifesteal, and that will give us more damage from the Bloody Hand. So that will all compound together as well. The high lifesteal that we have should let us just maintain our HP through the Bloody Hand here, and we also have the Medical Turret. If I didn't have Medical Turret, I might have hesitated more to take Bloody Hand. And you can see we're not currently having trouble maintaining our health, but that's because I haven't really taken a hit yet. This will be more dangerous in the elite waves. Also, the fact that we got to 60% dodge right after I took the risky item has helped a lot as well. There you go. So now my HP is low, so I need to play a little carefully, because if I take another hit or two, and then the Bloody Hand damage starts to stack up, we could put ourselves in a position where we could die. And honestly, our goal with this character at the moment, we're strong enough, is not just to sort of try to win, but also to try to never be in a position where we could lose, because we're so strong. We just want to minimize the chances of us of something weird happening and us just getting popped and dying. The Tyler, for 52, we do have improved tools and 70 attack speed. I think this actually will help with our wave clear. So I'm going to take the Tyler there. Ball and Chain, this is pretty nice. I really like this item. They did change it so it has a minimum cooldown of 0.75 seconds rather than 0.5 seconds, which means it only works with very slow attacking items now. Our sticks attack faster than that, so we'd be losing a lot of attack speed if we picked it up. That means that we don't want the Ball and Chain, but 3 armor, 15% damage, pretty cool item overall. Here, I'll take the Boxing Glove, because it's only 15, and 1 melee damage for 15 is a reasonable ratio. Take the Power Generator. The Acid will cost me 2% dodge, but we'll still be at dodge cap, so we're going to pick that up. Acid was newly buffed, so it now reduces knockback by 2 and dodge by 2 instead of dodge by 4, and means that a lot more characters are interested in buying this item. Could take Snail. It would cost me 3% damage from the Power Generator, but it does make enemies slower and a little easier to move around. I think I will take the snail. Slowing enemy projectiles is pretty powerful for characters like this that want to control their HP. For one thing, we can catch up to the projectiles more easily when they're slower and walk into them deliberately. Possible the Tyler would have been better as just 50 materials. I don't know if it's actually going to kill anything for us, but kind of a fun item to have, so I wanted to pick it up. Let's see. If I leave it be, does it kill that buffing alien? Just sort of watching. No, so the Tyler, the damage from the Tyler at this stage of the game is just too low. And I guess I have reduced my elemental damage and engineering with item purchases, so the amount of damage it does is pretty insignificant. So mistake to pick that item up, probably. Should have just been 50 materials. Take the melee damage here. We're gonna recycle Alien Baby. Oh wait, they changed this item. I hadn't noticed that this item has been changed. So this used to give 8% enemy speed and was an item that you would never ever take. Now it gives plus enemy health, which will make fighting the elites much harder. But 15 max HP is a real benefit. So I think this character probably doesn't want it because we want to kill the bosses, but on characters that aren't intending to kill the elites or bosses, the Alien Baby, I think, is now a really interesting item. So one to keep an eye on in future, and I will be interested to try it out as I play characters that are more defensive in nature. I'm going to take the damage here. I think we just want to kill the bosses quickly, and that's how we're going to plan to end the game. Roll and roll. I'll definitely take the helmet. 6 HP for 2 melee damage. And of course it's not 6, it's 4.5. I think that is still worth picking up though. I'm going to grab that and the Terrified Onion. Pick up the Gentle Alien and a level 4 stick. And we're going to walk into the boss. Now that I have high armor and dodge, I feel much more confident just tanking hits from the elite. So, like, in the last wave, we wanted to avoid taking hits from the elite specifically. This wave, I think we can do that a little better. I did want to fight closer to my medical turret, because I did actually get kind of low there, thanks to the buffing aliens. But our medical turret can get us back to full health. What I like about the Vampire is that even though we're sort of a melee lifesteal build with a lot of defensive stats, and usually that means you can just wade into big groups of enemies with perfect impunity, because we have low HP, we still have to play a little bit cautiously. At this point with 63, we're not in a ton of danger, but throughout most of the game on this character, you have to play pretty carefully, because you can always put yourself in danger of dying. I'm going to take the attack speed here, and then we will go ahead and buy the level 4 stick and the Gentle Alien. Roll. Level 2 stick doesn't do anything, but we'll take the Cyclops Worm. Level 1 stick doesn't do anything, but we'll take the Cute Monkey, and we'll go to wave 19. Yeah, that Tyler doing absolutely nothing, so poor pickup there. I've just been playing too many elemental engineering builds because they were buffed in this patch, so I'm just so used to looking for the Tyler and having it be a good item. As we play sort of around 50% HP, I do have to, again, be careful because I have Bloody Hand. And so as I get low, I can put myself in danger of ticking out to the Bloody Hand damage. Actually, where is my medical turret? I kind of lost track of it on this map. And Our HP is low. Okay, it's down here. Had to run over to it, because the medical turret has actually been huge for my survivability in these waves. I'm going to recycle the wisdom here. We want to kill the bosses faster than that. We'll take 6 melee damage. We'll take the stick, take the cute monkey, and roll. Ritual we will pick up, and helmet will pick up. And crit chance, speed, and lifesteal. I think I will take the fin. This is just bonus damage for us over the insanity. And then we're going to go, because we have bloody hand, so the lifesteal increases our % damage as well. And then we'll go to wave 20. Gonna try to damage down the octopus head alien as quickly as possible. And our damage is now high enough before I take hits that I actually want to stay kind of at full health, I think. Playing around the medical turret here. This actually was a fairly tense boss fight. I wasn't expecting it to be difficult, but until I killed the octopus head guy, we actually were taking a bunch of hits. However, got there in the end, and managed to defeat the bosses on the vampire with sticks. I think that if you are looking for an easy way to win with vampire, this is probably one of the easiest. It's this or the spiky shield method that I showed in my guide to the character. This character is... I think the changes to the character were intended to be buffs, but actually ended up making it even weaker than it was before. This character felt quite difficult to play overall. The fact that stick is a really strong weapon helped us out, of course. But the vampire, I think, is a very weak character right now, because minus 60% starting damage is a huge penalty, and having to play at low health for the early waves puts you in a lot of danger. I kind of like that, though, because it's a neat playstyle for the vampire. Taking a look at our economy items, we've got the bag that we got early. Because we didn't buy a ton of luck, we actually only ended up with 270 off the bag. Still an amazing return on our investment, of course, but less than bag sometimes gives you. The early gentle aliens helped out a ton as well. This baby gecko may have been a mistake. We didn't end up using the material pull in that much, but Crown gave us a ton of harvesting. Cute monkeys were amazing for healing, and we can't see the healing on the medical turret, but it's probably in the hundreds as well. These two non-lifesteal sources of healing were very important to how this character plays out and making sure that we didn't die. So I like picking up the medical turret and the improved tools. That's something that helped us helped keep us alive. Without having to rely on the very dangerous method of getting up close to enemies and hitting them for lifesteal. The Bloody Hand, I said this at the time, of course, the Bloody Hand is what made the last few waves interesting. I think we would have much more smoothly cruised to victory without it. Bloody Hand still, of course, an extremely strong item, but the damage per second items are very dangerous on the vampire, so we had to play a little more cautiously because we had this item a couple times. And I think if you were strictly trying to optimize your win chance, you would avoid any damage per second items on the vampire. Other than that, this was just a pretty smooth run overall, because stick is such a great weapon. And that's really the lesson here, is good weapons are good, and it's nice to roll them when you're doing a random weapon challenge. I hope that you have enjoyed the video, of course, and if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy games. Cheers, my friends. I'll catch you next time.